As you can see, I have completed the 99 Scott Rolen collection. Yes, I did this, no money spent. I unlocked him at around 9:30 p.m. Eastern time last night. So it took me about 6 hours, maybe a little less, because I had a few breaks in there too, eating dinner and doing other stuff. But yeah, I unlocked this 99 Scott Rolen, no money spent last night. I had to grind out for a few more cards because I wanted to, not spend like another 300K and instead grind out stuff like the new programs and the mini seasons just so I didn't have to waste more stubs. But regardless, he is here. This card is amazing for this stage of the game. But today I'm going to be telling you guys how I did it. I'm going to go through every single collection and I'm going to give you guys my advice on how to take this on. So as you can see, the one voucher that I skipped was John Donaldson from the Negro Leagues, and I'm going to explain my reasoning. So basically, I'm going to sort of skip ahead here. I think all of these were pretty simple for me, except for All-Star. It was All-Star. It was All-Star, Negro Leagues, and Standout. The Standout one was pretty difficult because I only had, out of the cards that you can buy, you need all 12. There's 8 of them on the market and four of them in programs, obviously out of the program ones. But I only had 3 or 4 of the marketplace cards, so I had to determine, which one I wanted to do. And I thought to myself, I was like, look, this John Donaldson is a great card. I'm going to be getting him eventually. I would rather do a collection like Spotlight for 2 reasons. There's another reason why I ended up doing Spotlight, even though it was more expensive than the Negro Leagues, just because I only needed this Ego, right? The reason why I'm not doing this is because there are going to be a couple more storylines coming out in a week, and I'll just do those and complete them and then get this John Donaldson instead of locking in a Martin Ego who's like 70K and locking in the Satchel Paige, even though he's dirt cheap. But I just didn't want to do that. And yeah, it would have been cheaper to do that than the Spotlight. But I ended up doing the Spotlight anyway because those are going to have their own collections in a few weeks. So it's like, yeah, I'm spending more stubs, but I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Now I'll be able to do these collections and I'll only need to buy the last 2 and I'll be able to complete this program and I'll already have these lightning cards. So it was like I was willing to spend more stubs to be able to get this collection done as well. Then instead of doing the Negro Leagues and just skipping this, and then I see lightning cards that are sick and I'm like, oh, I really want to do this all. And then I could have just used this for the Scott Rolen card, if that makes sense. So now I'm just going to go through every single collection, tell you guys, was I prepared? Was I not? There were a few that I was not prepared for because they were really difficult. Egg Hunt, here, Egg Hunt, New Threads, Pipeline, Spring Breakout, and Jolt. All of these I already had completed. Like, I already had DeGrom done. I already had Santander done. Already had Roki done. Already had DeVries. These are all just free cards. You don't have to buy anyone. Already had all 30 of the Jolt cards. So I was prepared for those. Those were pretty simple. They're definitely expensive, but they've been in the game for a while, and they're not too expensive, and you can get these cards pretty easily. So I was ready for those. For contributor, I did not have enough cards right when the collection came out, because right when it came out, you needed every single card in the series, and I didn't have this Brandon Lau, and he skyrocketed in price. He went up to like 50K. It's not going to show up because it wasn't the full day price. But of course, they added 2 new contributor cards into the game in programs with this Johnny Cueto, and they also added, the Marcana in the mini seasons. I ended up just doing the mini seasons, getting that Marcana, and I got this Johnny Cueto along the way. I just didn't really care about locking in this Terry Pendleton because, I just wanted to get this done, and I kind of just naturally got this Cueto. So yeah, I could have saved 2,500 stubs and locked in Cueto instead of Pendleton if I waited a few hours, but I just didn't feel like it, especially because this card is already so freaking cheap, and I want to hold on to the cards that are extinct like this. So I just locked in Pendleton, and this one was pretty simple. Last Ride was another one that I could have just done on the jump, but I didn't. What I ended up doing was I got this Jim Edmonds in the program, and then I did not lock in Nolan Ryan. Pretty simple. They did include these cards and the 20th anniversary cards in a flash sale, so these guys are not too expensive and their quantities went up, and I'm probably going to start buying back cards. I only sold a couple cards. I didn't really sell that many cards. I sold a lot of like my extra live series investments. That's kind of how I made stubs on the fly, but I'm probably going to buy these cards back that I don't have. But yeah, Last Ride was another one that was pretty simple. I was prepared. I mean, all these guys are grindable rewards in like one collection, being Larry Walker. Now, when I saw that you needed every single one of these for this 91 Honus Wagner, I thought people were screwed because I thought these guys were going to skyrocket in price. They actually, they also put this in a flash sale, which was nice for people who didn't have these cards. So they're actually not too expensive now. Although I will say, I hope you guys bought the cards during the flash sale, because they are already more than double of what the price of the pack was. The pack was 7,500 stubs. They're now at almost 18,000, 19,000. Wow. I would have invested in duplicates of these guys if I had any stubs left over, but I didn't, because there were some cards that I had to buy, which I'll show you later in All-Star. But yeah, I mean, yet again, in my original video from a couple weeks ago when I told you guys to prepare for this was the biggest one, and I hope you guys did. Moving on to Rookie. Rookie was simple. I mean, this one I got instantly. They didn't add any new cards. These cards are all either grindable rewards or collection rewards. This one was pretty simple. I just got it right away. Breakout, kind of the same thing here. They didn't add anyone new. I didn't really need anyone. I had some extra cards that I could sell. I sold off Hank Greenberg, who's, around like 10K, and I sold off McClanahan, who I could just get back in mini seasons, and I locked in Stott because he's in, or not mini seasons, Diamond Quest. Locked in Stott, had Breakout done. This one was easy. Now, All-Star, I thought I was prepared. I knew this was going to be a big challenge. And then I saw it was 31, and I was like, oh crap. So I ended up buying a bunch of players. So first of all, the players that I ended up getting, there were a couple that I grinded for. This Shane Bieber, who 33 parallel for the purple is pretty cool. This card is trash. But I got him in the new mini seasons, the All-Star Shane Bieber. I got this All-Star Scott Rolen in the new Rolen in the Reds program. That helped a lot. And then I don't think there was anyone else I got from the programs or the new content, really. So I had to buy a couple cards. So what did I do? I actually bought this Ken Griffey Jr. on Thursday to be prepared, in a sense. So I just locked him in. I bought Chase Utley like an hour before the collection came out. And what I ended up doing was the Chase cards ended up being in the flash sale too. So they did that flash sale literally when I was recording. I saw that. I immediately hit sell now for 62K, and then I bought them back for around 45K. So I just made a free, including tax, like a free like 11K-ish. So that was cool. But yeah, I also bought Rafael Devers during the flash sale. I got him for around 70K. He's now at 90K. Just making smart decisions, smart purchases for guys that I need. And that was everything I needed for the All-Star. But yeah, this was tough because I really had to. I had some leftover stubs that I ended up using on these guys, but I needed more, so I had to sell off some of my investments. But I'm slowly making my way back, and I still have a lot of them left. Like my main ones are still, obviously, I didn't touch. These were kind of ones that I could spare to get rid of. But also, live series investments video on the way, because that's coming on Friday. But regardless, All-Star, this was a huge pain. This was a huge pain. I would recommend you guys skip this one if you guys get the Negro Leagues done with the new storylines that are coming up. Like, once the new storylines come on Friday, you're going to want to do that one. That one's pretty easy. Most of it's just free stuff. You're going to want to skip All-Star probably. Veteran, this was kind of similar as Rookie and Breakout. This one was pretty simple. I don't think they added anyone new into Veteran in the game, and I was prepared. I mean, you could skip two of them, and I didn't have the Andy Pettitte, but I had pretty much everyone else. Now, second half, this one was a pain. This was such a pain because, they added a couple second half cards, or they only added one. They added this Mitch Garver into the mini seasons, which is a pretty solid card. I ended up getting him, of course, but I was one card short after that Mitch Garver, and I had everybody here except for Berkman, Rollins, who I ended up buying, and Randy Johnson. So I had to buy one of these BR cards for 75K. I had to buy the Jimmy Rollins card for 75K. when these guys are going to be in future multiplayer programs and they're going to drop, you know, it's not a big deal, but I'm not going to sit around and wait weeks just to, you know, get one card. So, you know, just got to suck it up and just do it and just find the stubs and just buy Jimmy Rollins. And yeah, I do want to reiterate, this was all with no money spent. I didn't buy any stubs. So yeah, this was a pain having to get this Jimmy Rollins, but we got it done. Postseason, I got my prediction pretty much perfect. I thought it would be 6 of these 7 cards. I locked in David Robertson instead of Steve Carlton. They're about the same. Carlton's a little cheaper. I just did it because I already had Robertson and I didn't have Carlton. But yeah, this was pretty simple. Sammy Sosa, if they didn't put this card in the pack, he would be so expensive right now. But yeah, postseason's pretty simple. Standout was one that was not difficult, but it took a while because I had to do that entire mini season for this Chris Bryant, and I was not locking in this Noria Posada. I had Bob Gibson already. I had these collection rewards already. Once I got Chris Bryant, this was the last one that I ended up doing, and I got it done. It's pretty easy. Or no, it's not easy because these are all big collection rewards. But if you already have Beltran, it's pretty easy. I already went over Spotlight. I already went over my reason for that. Tops Now kind of goes hand in hand with Spotlight. If you have Spotlight done, you should have most of Tops Now done. Kind of sucks you need every single one of them. You can't skip any of them, so I had to buy the new ones. And then Cornerstone, this one was, I mean, it was easy. These are all free cards that you could get from the XP Reward Path. So lastly, before this video ends, I just want to go over something. In my opinion, like, look, this Scott Rolen card is really good, but I'm going to say this right now. If you guys do not have Beltran done, that should be your priority. You should not be trying to get this Scott Rolen for a multitude of reasons. Number one, Beltran's a better card. He just is, and he should be. The Live Series collection is the hardest thing to do in the game every year. Number two, the Live Series collections are, you pretty much, you can get Scott Rolen without having Beltran, but you cannot get Scott Rolen without having significant progress in the collections, right? Because, for example, if we go to Standout, like I said, 3 of the 5 cards, like this is the AL East, this is the AL West, and this is the Yankees. Like that is pretty expensive. And so, you know, me having collections done for like a month now, it made it much easier. But if you don't have Beltran done, I would still just do Beltran first, especially because they're going to be continuously adding cards in series, making this easier and easier as the year goes on. So if you have like no progress, don't be discouraged because you will be making progress. But it's good to have that Beltran benchmark going into this collection. That's going to be it for this video. If you guys are new here, follow me on all my social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, but most importantly, make sure to subscribe right here on YouTube. So yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.